Hey there, I'm Scott. Welcome back to my home and my kitchen. You guys, it's been a long week and today is Sunday finally, and it's a lazy Sunday at that. And nothing is better on a lazy Sunday than really rich, delicious comfort food. And not too long ago, I had an email from a man named Lawrence asking me if I would prepare a recipe that is absolutely fantastic called a Kentucky hot brown. It's delicious. It's toast with some roasted turkey, mornay sauce over the top, and some bacon, and it is fantastic and really a staple comfort food in Kentucky. Then I also had an email from a guy asking me if I would show some classic French sauces. So to actually make the Kentucky hot brown, we need to make a classic French sauce, which is called a mornay, and I'll show you both of those in this episode. So let's get started. Kentucky hot browns, they are delicious and really kind of easy to get together. What you'll need to get the recipe together is some cooked or roasted turkey. I got two really kind of large turkey breasts at the market, roasted those up just with salt and pepper in about a 375-degree oven for about 30 minutes, or until the internal temperature read 165 degrees. So that's done. Bacon, you're going to need 2 slices per person on this recipe, so bacon that you've already fried off. It can be left over from the morning or from the day before. You'll also need 4 ounces or 1 stick of butter, and I have that melting here in my saucepan. You're going to need 6 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. You're going to need about 1.5 cups of grated Parmesan. If you want a cheesier flavor to this, by all means, add more. You're going to need 1 egg beaten up. You're going to need 1 cup of milk and 2 cups of heavy cream, and salt and pepper to taste. And those are the easy ingredients. So let's get started making the bechamel sauce. Alright, to make the hot brown recipe, you're going to have to make a classic French sauce called a mornay sauce. And a mornay sauce starts as a bechamel sauce, and then once you add cheese to it, it becomes a mornay. And a bechamel sauce is just your really classic French cream or white sauce, you'll often see it called. And that starts by making a roux. So what I have is the 4 ounces of butter melted here in our saucepan. And over about a medium-high heat. You don't want to brown the butter, but you definitely want it pretty hot. We're going to add the 6 tablespoons of our flour. And then with the wire whisk, incorporate that until all of the flour is blended well into your butter. And we're not going to brown this at all. We just want to cook the flour taste out of that. So it's going to take probably a minute or so to get that to happen. And then we'll come back and add our cream and milk. Okay, our butter and flour are well combined and just starting to bubble, which is what we want. So I'm going to start off by adding our 1 cup of the milk and get that well combined. This is where people will end up getting lumps in their gravy, is by not combining those really well, the flour, butter, and then the milk. Okay, so that comes together very quickly. Now the cream, 2 cups for 1 pint. Perfect. Now this is a bechamel sauce, and in the French mother sauces, this is one of them. It goes different directions to make different types of sauces. So what we want to do is turn our heat up. We don't want to scald it, but we do want to bring it to a boil, because that boil is what's going to actually activate that flour and bring it to its full thickening power. So I'm going to bring this up to the boil, and we'll be back to add the cheese. Our cream is just about to start to boil. I can tell because the steam is getting pretty heavy on top. So what we want to do at this point is just add about a pinch of some sea salt and a few grinds of pepper. Get that in there and get that incorporated. And this is getting really quite nicely thickened. Yeah. And you can tell when you pull your whisk out of the sauce, if you get a little trail, it's just about there and just about ready. Alright, so I'm going to turn the heat down because I don't want to scald that. And to our 1 beaten egg, what I want to do is take out just a little bit of the sauce and put it in and just whisk that around until everything is well combined. That's called tempering the egg, and that's just bringing it up to a temperature so it's not going to curdle when we add it directly to this really hot sauce. The egg gives a really nice thickness, but also a richness to this dish. All right. So incorporate your egg completely. And at this point, we can really just turn our heat off. The sauce is nicely thickened. And our 1.5 cups of the Parmesan, I'm going to add about half of that. The rest will be reserved to go over the hot brown right before we put it under the broiler. And by adding cheese to this bechamel sauce, now it becomes a mornay sauce, and you can do that with any kind of cheese. Blue cheese or cheddar, Gruyere, whatever you want to make. Depends on what kind of cheese you would add. So there you go. Now we're ready to put the hot brown together. To get the hot browns all plated up and ready to go into the broiler, what you'll need is something that can go in the oven underneath the broiler. I'm using an enamel cast iron. Most dishware these days can go into the oven. Just check the bottom, make sure. One thing I forgot to mention that you'll need is some toast. And I just took some bread, cut the crust off, and toasted that in the oven. What I like to do is just sort of cascade them down, putting one tip right over the other. And that's going to give us a little bit of a base to put some of our roasted turkey. And like I said, I just picked up this the turkey breast at the supermarket or market, roasted that in the oven. It's quite nice. But if you had chicken, you could also turn this into a chicken dish just as easily. So we have that sort of scattered right over our toast. And then to the top, some of our mornay sauce right over. Give it a good bath. That's going to go under the broiler and get nicely browned. Perfect. And then to the top of this, put 2 pieces of bacon, crisscross, just making an X right over the top. Into the broiler until everything gets nicely brown and bubbly. So I watch mine just for a few minutes until you first start seeing those first bubbles. Once you see that happen, go in with some of that leftover reserved Parmesan cheese and over the top, back in until everything browns up. So there you have it. Hot out of the oven, a Kentucky hot brown. This is a fantastic dish for a lazy Sunday afternoon when you're in the mood for some real comfort food. I hope you guys will make this and love it. So as always, thanks so much for watching. And please feel free to email me at scottinOregon@comcast.net if you'd like to make a comment on this video or ask me to prepare a recipe for you. I'll be happy to. Alright, have a good day. Bye.